Hey everybody, something's going on in real estate. Something's happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. Or is it? Let's find out next. Hey everybody, Dave Edwards, Treasure Valley Dave here. You know your great real estate agent by your side when it comes time to buy a home, sell a home, or even relocate to the Treasure Valley. And if you are thinking about buying or selling or just participating in our economy at all, you're going to want to know about what's going on in the housing market because changes are coming. But first, before we get into that, I wanted to remind you to obviously go ahead and like, share, subscribe, that kind of stuff. But also, you know, it's not just me. We've got Maureen here, and you've seen Maureen in some of those other videos, and she too is right by your side. It's almost like a Treasure Valley Dave sandwich, right? Anyway, I say all that to say this, that we can help you buy, sell, relocate, whatever it is. Those are the things that we are exceptionally good at. We've done it, and we look forward to helping you. So let's just get right into this. So Redfin's come out recently and said that they have a forecast. You know, Redfin does a lot of number crunching, and they got a lot of smart people over there. So I think we should probably pay attention to what they're saying. They're saying that we expect to have a dip by the end of 2025. I don't think they mean the ice cream cone. Home sale prices are to fall flat in the third quarter. We're almost through the second quarter already. And the market's expected to fall 1% by the fourth quarter. So that's on a national level. What happens in individual, specialized places like the Treasure Valley or Chattanooga, stuff like that, could be slightly different. But on a national level, things are getting kind of weird. And when it does come to mortgage rates, they're expecting them to stay right about 7%. Anyway, let's see what we have here. So the first quarter, we saw values go up 3% year over year. Second quarter, the quarter we're in right now, they're expecting 2%. Third quarter, flat. Fourth quarter, down 1%. Are you guys kind of seeing this trajectory of house prices? Is that good or bad? I guess we'll have to talk about that. It's a stark reversal from the years of home price increases. Aside from a brief period in 2023, prices have been rising year over year ever since 2012. That was a long time ago due to a prolonged seller's market. Sales prices will decline because inventory is rising while sales are falling. They're saying that home buying demand is down while inventory is up 16.7%. Highest level in 5 years. There's more homes for sale now, combined with fewer people interested in buying them. Some of that's because of the interest rates, right? And it's expected to push the U.S. sale prices down in two key ways. There's going to be a discount on the list price. Sellers, pay attention to that. And there's going to be lower list price. So they're talking about discounts. That's going to be maybe you're giving concessions back to the buyers for whatever things, fixing up, closing costs, stuff like that. Or you're just going to be starting out at a lower price just to be competitive. So the Redfin agents, they're advising their buyers, and I think this would be good for just about all agents. I think I'd say the same thing. For buyers looking for a deal to target homes that have been on the market for more than a few weeks. That means it's starting to get stale. Those offer a shot at negotiations, they say. Buyers should submit offers for under the list price or ask for concessions like mortgage rate buy downs and things like that. We have one under contract right now where we actually did get that mortgage rate buy down concession from the seller for our buyer. It works. It's not just theory. Nearly half of the sellers are now 50% are giving concessions, just shy of the highest level ever on record. Sellers should price their homes in line with the market from the start, so they avoid price drops or chasing the market down, as we say. A lot of people selling right now bought in 2021 and 2022 when home prices were near their high. Even though we advise them to list at today's market value, a lot of those sellers still have in their minds that they need to get a certain amount of money because, they paid a lot more. And, that sounds great. And if you are in a position where you don't have the equity to kind of absorb what we have going on today, you might be stuck. And we could certainly talk about that. So these experts expect the national median home price to decline 1% there in the fourth quarter. But that's nationwide. In some metro areas, the prices will continue to rise, perhaps. And we are kind of seeing that here in the Treasure Valley. That's what some of the forecasts are saying. So if you're a buyer, maybe this is great news for you. Well, not maybe. It is. Buying a home will become more affordable because wages are expected to rise once prices fall. And then you're probably thinking, I'm a buyer. Should I just go ahead and wait for prices to come down? Well, this report says that for house hunters looking to buy soon, waiting until the end of the year for prices to fall slightly is unlikely to pay off. They're saying, we know there's room to negotiate right now, so that's the best way to take advantage of the changing market. And I tend to agree with that. Because if you're waiting, maybe everybody else is waiting. So come December, you're putting in your offers, other people are putting in their offers, and it's like more competition. Right now is typically the hottest time of the year, at least for the real estate market. And we're not seeing all that competition and houses just flying right off of the shelves, as it were. So coming in right now, finding those homes that have quite a few days on the market, that might just be the best way to get you into the house that you want right now and start building up your equity without any further ado. But what about California? I know California's kind of a big topic because we're out west as well. And bless their hearts, we have a lot of Californians, some good people that have escaped that place and moved to Idaho. And I understand that a lot of Californians moved to other places. But what's going on there? California home sales hover below the Great Recession low, sending supply of listings surging. Well, that's true. And the number of active listings in California topped almost 65,000 in April. And in California, inventory has been rising. The gain is more pronounced in California, where the number of active listings was up 50%. And in California, more sellers are entering the market. But the biggest driver of this more inventory is that homes are just sitting on the market a lot longer. Since mid-2023, total sales of single-family homes and condos in California have hovered below the depths reached during the Great Recession of '08. Sales are down. And why is that? Well, affordability has been a key factor weighing on buyer demand in California, with median home prices more than 8 times the typical household's annual income, among the highest ratio in the country. And now here's the conundrum. Despite the tepid pace of sales, home prices in California have remained remarkably firm. Last month, the median list price in the state was $767,000, virtually unchanged from a year ago. A supply shortage has helped prop up home prices in California, but as inventory surges, here we go with that surge again, in the state, some housing market experts are now watching for those prices to stagnate or start to fall. And a recent expert report named California as one of the most vulnerable areas for housing market declines based on gaps in affordability, underwater mortgages, foreclosures, and unemployment. The report identified 14 California counties as being among the 50 most at risk in the entire nation for a housing market downturn. In California, while inventory has recovered somewhat, reaching its highest April level in years last month, for sale options remain well below the 2019 levels. Sales prices are likely to stay near recent highs until inventory builds sufficiently to slow the market down, which could eventually prompt sellers to adjust their price expectations. So in California, what we have is prices are sticking about where they are. Inventory is coming up some, but houses are staying on the market that much longer. So if you're in California, what are you thinking right now? Are you thinking prices haven't collapsed yet, but it's taken a lot longer to get my house sold? Maybe I should get my house on the market right now and get it sold while I can still find a buyer, while I can still get insurance, while my buyer can still get insurance on it. Those are some of the things I'd be thinking about. Certainly do it before you end up with Governor Kamala. Oh my gosh. And then what does this mean for you as a seller? Well, let's get into that a little bit more. Home sellers are pricing too high and not listening to the market, experts warn. And your agent should be telling you that as well. Sellers who have an unrealistic price expectation are setting themselves up for pain in a softening market. The share of home listings with price reductions hit another multi-year high in April, indicating that sellers are increasingly overestimating what their house will fetch in the current market. This is interesting. Despite these warnings, seller confidence remains staggeringly high, with 81% of potential home sellers predicting that they would get their asking price or even higher. What's going on? And then reality hits. Price reductions surge as sellers overestimate the market. Here's a map of the price reductions that we saw in April. So the highest ones are Florida and then Arizona down here. But every place else is having price. There's no place that is immune from pretty substantial price reductions. And I agree with this statement that listing agents say they hear unrealistic price expectations most frequently from sellers who bought their homes during the frenzy of COVID-19 pandemic era housing boom when bidding wars were common. Adjusting to market reality. There's a new reality of flat or even softening prices as we go forward through this year and maybe even next year. Overpricing your home based on a gut feeling or wishful thinking can be a dire mistake. Dire. But some sellers, not you, I'm sure, but some sellers are thinking that their property is quite a bit better than everybody else's. And those cosmetic updates that they did increases their home price by a whole heck of a lot. But now those things that you have done to maintain your house and to keep it looking nice, those can make your house sell faster. So that definitely gives you quite the edge over people that didn't do that. And if your house didn't sell faster, that means it sold longer days on the market. And then there's that curse of a stale listing. And that is often perceived by buyers as there might be something wrong with the house. Hey, what's wrong with the house? It's been on the market for like 3 months. Here, this expert says that if you overprice your home, it's going to sit on the market and it's going to get stale. And then you're going to be chasing the price down to what the market's willing to pay for it. So that's what we were saying earlier. Chasing the market if you price too high to start with. So it kind of comes back to this. What's your reason for selling? What's your reason for buying? I know your reason for moving if you're in California looking for someplace to go, because that's what I did. That's what Maureen did. So we're right on the same page with you there. But if it does come time to buy, you might want to consider maybe let's get in there right now while sellers are going through this period where they're dropping their prices and they're offering 50% or offering massive concessions and price drops. So this might just be the very time to get in there, to get into the house that you want. And if you're a seller, depends on your motivation. Do you just want to test the market? Well, that was 3 years ago. If you are putting your house on the market right now, it's because you want to sell it. And if you want to sell it, we have to price it right. We have to make it look great. We need to make sure it's marketed right and then be prepared for lower offers coming in. Those agents out there representing buyers, they're telling their buyers, let's submit a low offer and see what happens. So don't take it personal. It's going to happen. But if you need to sell, if you need to move, that's your motivation. We're going to help you do that. It's not necessarily going to be the painless, but I want to be upfront with you and be realistic so you know what's coming. Well, thanks so much for sticking around and going through all this stuff that's going on in the market. Make sure you give Maureen and me a call, text, email. It doesn't matter. Go to our website. Hey, there's our website right there. Click that Contact Us button and shoot us a message. We'd be glad to help. Also, our website's got a lot of great resources, so please check that out. And speaking of stuff to check out, I've got this video right here. It talks about don't get scammed when you're moving. Make sure you get good movers that are going to take care of your stuff and not hold your household goods hostage. That is hugely important. So thanks for coming by, and we will see you on the next video.